That was a delectable medley of footballing splendour. I cannot believe what we have just seen. What we have just witnessed at Selhurst Park from a dazzling Crystal Palace team is historic because it has changed Manchester United. It has changed the definition of Manchester United. This is historic. This matters. It's symbolic. Manchester United are no more. The club that we have grown up with, the club that we know Manchester United to be, what they represent, who they are, the spirit of Robson and Cantona and Beckham and Keane is no more. They have changed. And Crystal Palace have launched a serious bid to end Manchester United as we know them. I cannot believe the destruction that has happened at Selhurst Park. This is undoubtedly the worst Manchester United side that I have ever seen. In my entire life, I have never seen a collection of Manchester United players as woeful as this, lacking in absolutely every vital ingredient. When you think of Manchester United, think about what you expect. From the top down, they are a club, an institution that demand excellence. Now they are nothing other than a pitiful sham and a discreet nod to the club that they used to be. A discreet nod via a badge. That is it. The club, think of the armband that Manchester United, think of that captain's armband. Think of what it should represent. It should represent the standards that were set so high by the likes of Brian Robson, Roy Keane, Eric Cantona, Wayne Rooney, Cristiano Ronaldo. Now those standards are totally forgotten and redefined by the likes of Anthony, Casemiro and Maguire. That is how bad it has gone for this Manchester United team. And I guarantee you this, if Eric Ten Hag hadn't got them to a cup final, if he wasn't playing Manchester City at Wembley in a few weeks' time, he would be sacked tonight. He may well have been sacked already. He may even have been sacked at half-time because that is how bad that performance was. It was truly, truly horrific. Manchester United, as a club, are crumbling. They are crumbling before our very eyes. And they have a manager who is sinking. The club is crumbling and the manager is sinking and they are rudderless and the players have no pride in themselves. The players do not have the wherewithal or the ability to put this right. And I really do not know where Manchester United go from here now because Eric Ten Hag is no more. It is over. If there was any sort of conversation around him keeping his job, I think it's done. And I tell you what, he might be looking at this job thinking he doesn't want it anymore, particularly as I saw today that he was linked with Bayern Munich. I tell you what, if you are Bavarian, you need to think long and hard about taking Eric Ten Hag because that was their 13th loss of the season. 13 losses for the great, or the once great, Manchester United. That is a new club record. And Crystal Palace tonight demolished them. All of the focus will be on Manchester United and Ten Hag and Anthony and Garnacho and Mason Mount. But Crystal Palace were sensational. They had 18 shots, which sounds like a lot, but it's actually par for the course now for Manchester United. That is the norm these days when you are playing Manchester United. Whilst Crystal Palace had 18, Manchester United had 7. Manchester United have now conceded 81 goals in all competitions. They are simply a fragile nothing. That is who Manchester United are now. And when you think about who Manchester United in the league are comparable to, it is so insignificant. They have scored the same amount of goals as Brentford, and they have conceded the same amount of goals as Fulham. That is who they are. The very definition of insignificance. And think about this form. You know, when we talk about the league and the business end and when it most matters, the team that immediately come to your mind when you talk about turning it on when it is most essential. You know, when we acknowledge quite how brilliant Arsenal have been this calendar year. This calendar year, Arsenal, business end of the season, played 17, won 15, one draw, one defeat to Unai Emery's Villa. They have been fantastic. This calendar year, Manchester United. Let's look at how many shots they have faced. Do you know who has conceded more shots in the Premier League this calendar year? The answer is Manchester United. 317 shots have been faced by Manchester United this calendar year. They are top of that pitiful league. West Ham are second on 308 and Sheffield United are third. So Manchester United as a club are facing more shots than Sheffield United. How is that happening? What is going on? Where is the protection from the midfield? Just for the record as well, Kobe Mainoo has played every game this year. So Kobe Mainoo is featured in every single game. I don't know what's going on. I know the defence has been appalling, and I know people will focus on the defence and the injuries and whatever else, but this is simply unacceptable. Manchester United will now almost definitely not play in Europe next season. They are going to play Arsenal at the end of the season. They're going to play Arsenal next. Arsenal are going to batter them. Where are these points going to come from for Manchester United to qualify for Europe? And I know that some Manchester United fans may say, well, we don't want to be in Europe anyway. We don't want to be in the B-Tech competitions. We're a Champions League club. But trust me, nobody, when you're watching that game, is thinking about the balance sheet. But where this could really hurt Manchester United most severely is the balance sheet. If Manchester United are not in any form of Europe next season, that will be detrimental to their aspirations next season. It will be detrimental in their recruitment of players this summer. If you are a player potentially moving to Manchester United, suddenly they're not in Europe at all. They're not even in the B-Tech and C-Tech competitions. They haven't qualified for Europe at all. This could be very damaging for Manchester United because they are now simply a shell of a team. Just a completely irrelevant force, not in keeping at all with their once proud traditions. It makes me think back to what Ralph Rangnick said about Manchester United. I wasn't a fan of Ralph Rangnick. I didn't rate him. But do you remember when he said that Manchester United as a club needed open heart surgery? I tell you what, tonight they're on life support. This is a night that will be remembered forever. We will think about this night for a long, long time because Crystal Palace went into this game as favourites, but Manchester United literally did not turn up. This is the nadir of the post-Sir Alex Ferguson era. This is it. We are living it. We are witnessing it. Casemiro, he had his Gary Neville at West Brom moment, didn't he? He should be retired. Tonight is the kind of night that retires footballers and gets managers the sack. It will definitely retire Casemiro. And I think the only reason that Erik ten Hag is not going to get the sack is simply because of that cup final. I cannot believe that they are now going to miss out on Europe altogether. I cannot believe that Chelsea, we are going to finish above Manchester United, most probably this season. And Manchester United are now in such serious danger. Eighth and no Europe. But to now focus on the more positive side of the coin, Crystal Palace, what an outrageously brilliant performance from them. Oliver Glasner should take a bow. They were simply brilliant. And they are unbeaten in 5 games, having beaten Manchester United, Liverpool and Newcastle in the space of the last month. A truly, truly brilliant statement from Glasner. And now it's about Crystal Palace trying to go that bit further next season. As a club, they are probably the biggest club in South London. They are the biggest club in South London, actually. Maybe not the biggest supported, but certainly the biggest club that reside in South London. And they have been a Premier League team now for what? A decade? Finishing around the 49, 50-point barrier. They need to go beyond that. You know, they have watched their great rival, Brighton and Hove Albion, go into Europe and win in Amsterdam and whatever else. Palace should be doing that. Palace are such a bigger proposition than Brighton. And if you look at the players that they're producing, you know, they're gems. Shone tonight. Wharton was unreal. Elise, unplayable. Eze, shone. Okay, they all shone against very limited resistance. And when you look at maybe Elise's first goal, you think, where's the defence? What is going on? How shocking are Manchester United? The centre-halves were nowhere. The protection from the midfield, nowhere. It is a catastrophe. And I'm sure that Erik ten Hag will point to injuries. He will know that starting Johnny Evans and Casemiro at centre-back in 2024 is a shocker and is going to set you up for disaster. But where they go from here, I do not know. An absolute catastrophe for Manchester United. And I go so far as to say that Manchester United are no longer the club that we have known them to be. They have been that bad, and I'm not sure that we will ever see them in the same light again. Something desperately needs to change culturally. It has gone so wrong for Manchester United. An appalling night at the office for them. But for Crystal Palace, sensational. Fair play to Glasner. Fair play to the Selhurst Park faithful. And fair play to Michael Elise, Wharton and Eze. jewels in the crown of Crystal Palace. An honour to watch them play football. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you agree with me that Manchester United are spent? We need to redefine who they are. Please click subscribe if you're new, by the way, inching ever closer to that 300,000 subscribers. It would be an honour to welcome you in. Cheers for watching.